Hi, this is Gary Fong, and I'm at my office in Kelowna, BC, Canada. And as many of you know, we had a really big house fire that completely leveled the house. One thing that was a very nice thing for me was that I didn't lose any of my images or assets because everything that I do has a very rigorous backup system. And I'm going to show you exactly how to back everything up so that no matter what happens in the event of a catastrophe, you've got multiple backups in different locations. I think that all of this came from me being a wedding photographer and knowing that if I lost the film, I would have a really big problem with my wedding clients. Especially before the album was done. So I took a lot of preventive measures to make sure that my images were always safe. And I think I've done the same thing just by habit here. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to save everything so that they will be safeguarded and then also archived forever. One thing that you can always get back is possessions, but you'll never get back the things that like images or anything that you wrote down in books. Like books you'll never get back. And so I'm going to show you how to actually save digital copies of written journals, and also how to save all of your images not only offsite to the cloud. I'm going to show you how to save them to your own personal cloud, as well as on archival Blu-ray DVDs that hold 25 gigs and last for 200 years. Unlike the regular DVDs and especially hard drives will fail in storage. And the reason why they fail, by the way, is that when the hard drive is not spinning, the platter's not spinning. When the platter's spinning, it's on a cushion of air. The minute that you stop it, everything stops, and that's where corrosion and things like that can build up and screw up your hard drive. So a spinning hard drive is fine. It won't last forever, and hard drives definitely will not last forever. But and if you put it on DVD or Blu-ray, those have a very limited life as well, unless you put them on archival. So I'm going to be showing you an entire suite of things to do to make sure that should you have a catastrophe, fire or whatever, and you lose your images, that you've got very safe and secure backups contemporaneously, which means that they're always backed up. Even if you take them on your phone or whatever, they're always backed up somewhere. And the center of it is this thing right here. This is called an IoSafe 214 by Synology, and it is fireproof and waterproof. In fact, they patterned this after a plain black box because that's what this is. This is something that can survive not the hottest fire, but it's much more safe than any other hard drive that you can have. It's also a RAID system, so it does the redundant thing where if a section of one of the drives fails, it rewrites that on another section to make sure that the data is safe. And all of this is accessible outside of this office. So this is off-site. Obviously, my house is not here at the office. This is at my office, and it is connected to the world, but it's only connected to the world through a secure line that I have, and that's called NAS, or Network Access Server. With a Network Access Server, this is just like uploading to Facebook or YouTube, except that you're the only one that has access to it. You're the only one that can, as the admin, define the passwords or give people a certain amount of access. So your email server can be copied here. Your scans, which I'm going to show you how we scan the mail, not only at home but here at the office, all goes directly into this. And the way it goes directly into this is through Dropbox. So the way that Dropbox works is that all of your images from your phone or any computer or scanner or whatever, the way we do it, we scan our papers or the children's artwork, for example, and then it all goes to Dropbox. Dropbox gives you the ability to upload your image files. So whether that's through iPhoto is a real pain, but it will all upload to Dropbox. Now, what we do is with Dropbox, you can define where you have your Dropbox set. we have it set inside this guy. So whenever anything gets updated on Dropbox, it goes to Dropbox, and then Dropbox reconciles it with this guy right here. Now, imagine what happens if there's a fire and we lose all the computers in the house. Everything is still on Dropbox. If Dropbox goes out of business, everything is on here and it's safe. So we've got multiple ways of saving things. Now, things don't, oh, and then from Dropbox, it's nested in a folder inside the IoSafe. Okay, so on really important stuff, we'll make sure that it bypasses Dropbox and goes straight to the IoSafe, because this is just a personal network cloud. And that's one thing that I really like about NAS, is that the speed is extremely fast. It's like, I forgot what it was, but it's about USB drive. The performance here is very, very fast. In fact, we don't have a connection here that goes to this computer. It's all one Ethernet cable to the router. There's no USB cord because it doesn't need one, because it's that fast. Well, if it can access my local network that fast, it can access from the world that fast as well. So just imagine, you know, I'm out in whatever, wherever. I could be out in Africa or something like that. Take a picture on my camera and then stick it on my computer, which then automatically uploads it to Dropbox. Dropbox is located who knows where, but then it reconciles inside this fireproof and waterproof IoSafe. And just a couple things. If you get, actually, you know what? It's not an option. You really need to get one of these, because there's other RAID systems, and I had 2 Drobos that failed. This one has not failed, and I really think it's kind of like a government issue product. But if you're in the business of images, or if you have images of your family that you never want to lose, I can't think of a better way than this to protect everything. And then from here, we go into deep archiving, which we go into the 200-year DVDs, and we'll show you how that works. But the IoSafe is the center of everything, and it's fast, and it's automatic. So if I put a picture into iPhoto or Google Play or Share or whatever, it automatically goes to Dropbox, which automatically goes to the IoSafe. And you know, it's like in a situation where we had a fire, the first thing I thought was, did we lose anything? And I ran through all of the different scenarios in my mind, and I remember that everything that was important and irreplaceable to me, like my school books, or my early childhood school records and birth certificates and things like that, all were off the property, saved in fireproof safes. So I just think this is incredibly important. So I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, Gary's all about fire safety because his house went down. I was always about safely keeping my files regardless. And a lot of people, you know, if you put images up on the cloud or you save anything up on the cloud, hackers can get into it. Hackers can get into anything. They got into Target, they got into Goldman Sachs, they can get into anything, and they can definitely get into your, say, your Google account. So if you suspect that anybody's hacking or whatever, or you have sensitive data that you don't want anyone to get to, just simply pull the plug and no one can ever get to that data. So that is kind of the overall picture safety program, and now we'll show you the particulars. Okay, so here I am at our house, and this is our little scanning area. We have it kind of pretty well organized. So all the stuff that hasn't been scanned yet goes there, and all the stuff that's been scanned goes there. And I'll show you the working parts of this. So this folds up really nicely when it's not in use, but this thing is just a beast. It's a beautiful machine, and it is a very high-speed scanner. Scans on both sides, instantly creates a PDF, and then from here, this will go straight to Dropbox. And it'll go into a folder which is called to be processed, which means that my accountant has to look at it, or I have to look at it. We haven't stuck it somewhere. So as soon as we're done with it, we'll put it in a bills paid or what have you. And this exists at my office, and it also exists in our mailroom that's in New York, and it's connected to the computer here. It's also connected to an app. Now, this is called the Fujitsu ScanSnap IX500. I can either connect this through my iPhone or Droid or whatever. It's kind of interesting. And if I want to scan something, I'll just throw a piece of paper in here. And then with this, I'll just hit the scan button. So we'll just hit continue. And then right now it's going to scan right into my iPhone. And from here, I can then just email it to wherever I want, or store them on my iPhone, or drop everything in a Dropbox. Now, if I don't want to put it in here, then I would do the same thing, but put it onto the computer. Okay, so if we're going to put something into the computer, all I do is just put this on here and then hit the scan button once. What I've got here is some of the artwork from the kitties. And I want to keep that and store that so we don't lose it. So I'm going to hit scan. And then it just comes through and it shows up right here. Now it's going to ask me to rename it, right? So I'll just say Willow's artwork or something like that. And then it's there. Now this is going to go to Dropbox because this is in Dropbox and scans to be processed. The Dropbox exists inside my IoSafe, which is at the studio, the black box, bomb-proof, waterproof, fireproof safe, as well as into the cloud. But so here you can see that I can just double-click on it and open it, and there it is. Just to kind of impress you a little bit more, I'm going to show you how fast it can do a nice pile of papers. So let's just grab... So this is the mail that comes in, and we throw it all in here. Just so that we have everything, and then if my accountant has to pay some bills or something like that, it all goes into this to be processed envelope, and then everybody looks at it and figures out what to do. But here is us just going through it and scanning it. So you just press the button once, and it's making a multi-page PDF. And this multi-page PDF, there's actually a setting on here that'll do text recognition. So it can actually read and encode the text that's on any of these things. And then I'll just say bills for Christine to review, or and then that's that. And then so now I have a PDF of all of those bills. And then this can now just go straight into the recycling, which is down here, or shredder. That's not important stuff, so we don't need to shred it. And that's that. One of the many things that we lost in the house fire was something that was really dear to Melissa, was her daily journal that she hand wrote into a book and recorded what was going on in the twins' lives during that time. And how do you back that up? Do you really want to walk over to your fireproof safe every night and put it away? One really good alternative is the LiveScribe 3. And this LiveScribe 3 is an amazing tool for about 1 billion different reasons. I'm going to give you just a real quick tour of it real quick. So let's just say that, we're going to write a journal entry here. So we'll just say 4/15/15 or something like that. Then when we go down here, you can see on the LiveScribe Starter Notebook that it's actually on here. And so if she decides to, take my pen and decide to color a little bit, and she just writes Mom, then that will be backed up to this file. And this can always be printed out in PDFs or a book of PDFs. And this is kind of super interesting too. I can hit the record button right here, just like that. Record. And then it will start recording. You can see on the top that there is a red light. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going to write, and I think I want it to be square, but I'm not sure, maybe more of a rectangle, and let's put a triangle over the top, whatever it might be. Then I can hit stop right here. And then not only do I have, it says Pencast, not only do I have the original book, I have a backup of that book, and then here I can always play the sound. So it will start recording. You can see on the top that there is a red light, And so what I'm doing now is I'm going to write. So it'll record the voices as well as the sound. So if you're taking notes at a lecture or something like that, super handy because you can hear the professor. And I'll just swipe to the right, and it turned it into text. So it'll actually convert your entire book to text should you want to search in it. Now, let me show you what the pages look like. So I'm on page 22. And this is a certain notebook. This is one of the more inexpensive notebooks. In fact, this is a free one. If you want really cool leather books and things like that, they've got them. Gorgeous, gorgeous leather books that you can use for different purposes. Every book is different. Every book has a different kind of pattern on the page. This is how it knows what book you're on. So let me just scroll back up and down here. And you can see that this is the entire book as it is. And we'll just take, we'll go right back down here to this mom page, and then we'll just go down to the beginning. So you can see I can just scroll all the way to the very first page, which would be that first page right there. And if I put a smiley face in that first page, the smiley face will show up on the PDF. Now, how does that work? It works because there's a little camera that's on the inside of this pen tip, and on this special paper there's dots in a very, very precise pattern, so it identifies this page with this page in the notebook. It's really brilliant. But for fire prevention and safety, if you're writing in a journal or something like that and you want to keep notes, and but it's not practical for you to throw this thing into a fire safe every night, then simply get the LiveScribe and use that to record all of your handwritten thoughts. This right here is the IoSafe, which is kind of the center of our personal cloud. But when anything is really, really extremely important, we put those into this, which is called an archival gold Blu-ray disc. And this has scratch armor, so it can't be scratched, but it has a 200-year archive. They say guaranteed 200-year life. So, you know, at year 197, if something fails, they'll give you a replacement disc. What's neat about this is that it's 25 gigs, so that's a lot of storage. Our weddings on here, the children's birth, each of their birthdays, my iPhone photos that went into iPhoto, all that went into IoSafe, that all went to Dropbox into IoSafe, and then from IoSafe it goes to here. So I can back up many things with multiple disks. But what I really like about this is that it acts like a drive. It doesn't just say, put all these things in here and burn once. You can take things, move them around in there, take them out, put other things back in, and once you fill it up with 25 gigs, then you're done. And then just kind of like put the record date and what you put on it. So the first thing that will happen is if you have a big fire or something like that, trust me, you'll think, what did I do? How current am I with all of my images? Now, you're pretty current with all of your images if they're backed up to the cloud, obviously, but the cloud is not always guaranteed to be there. It's just a better security to have it yourself in an archive. So this is a Windows laptop, and it's a very inexpensive laptop. I'm a Mac system, but I got the Windows because it's much easier to hook up a recordable Blu-ray drive onto these. And then so I'll just go ahead and open this, and open. Why will you not open? Please open. Did it break? Oh, that's because you're asleep. Sorry. Open. Open sesame. Okay, so, okay. I hear it spinning because it's reading. Battery's about to die. Okay, so this is the archival gold, and it's a 25 gig, basically, hard drive. So it makes it very flexible and very easy for you to do. One thing about image storage program is if it's really hard to do, you're not going to do it, and you're going to forget, just like life kind of goes by. So you want as much as you can automatic. But if you know something's really super important and you never want to lose it, then go ahead and archive them to these. There is no better storage archival system than Blu-ray DVDs on this type of DVD. And this is the final destination of our important digital assets. And these go into a safe deposit box at the bank. Okay, so we got a lot of videos on this. Very, very important topic. I don't want you to someday come back and go, man, I really wish I would have listened to Gary. We're going to give you the roadmap and videos on exactly how to put the system together so that it's automatic and very, very fast.